Hello! Welcome to another vlog.
Hi, friends.
Just so you guys are aware, the handful of you that watch this, I'm going to explain what's been going on. So basically, a couple weeks ago, like I'd say 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, Sailor attacked Humdrum again, bit her up pretty bad. I separated them, and I was like, okay, looks like I gotta get boys. Contacted the rescue, and I was so clear about my situation. I was so clear. I couldn't have been clearer. But it was very obvious to me, at least, that the adoption coordinator was just like, okay, well, I got like 5 more calls to make, and just brushed me off. And pretty much every time I spoke to her, the second she stopped talking to me, she forgot everything that I said. So she adopted 2 boys out to me. We drove 5 hours round trip to get these boys, brought them home. And then that night I was talking to them because they were acting aggressive. I just wanted to know what their normal behavior was like. And my other girls came up, and the adoption coordinator was like, you have unspayed females? I never would have adopted to you if I knew this. And she was like in an absolute panic.
Yeah, it was frantic at the level of like, if someone told her there was a bomb in her house about to go off. Like, that's how she was acting, despite Sarah making clear that they weren't in the same cage. They were never going to be in the same cage. And also, you've adopted from them how many times?
That was the 3rd time.
And they had all of her information
on
the adoption form, including how many other rats she has. I'm pretty sure what sex they are.
Yeah, I was completely honest about everything. I even mentioned that I had unspayed females when I was talking to her on the phone. But for some reason, that information just kind of passed straight through her empty head.
I think I know the reason. She's stupid.
And she's just like, okay, well, you can't keep the boys. And it's in the contract that they're allowed to repossess the rats. And she did. She came over the next day, took the boys. And,
yeah, she was an hour and a half late picking them up.
And then took the F off. So, I was dealing with that a week ago today. So today is November 6th? No, 7th. So, like, literally on Halloween, like, one of our favorite holidays.
Oh, yeah, she peed all over our Halloween. It really sucked. It was such a bummer of a day.
Yeah, she came and she took the boys. So, at that point, I had to figure out what to do with Sailor. So, I did intros with Sailor and her 2 sisters. And so far, it's going really well. We've kind of started to wonder if Sailor's problem isn't aggression necessarily anymore, but humdrum.
Well, I mean, after I've got the rats in here, not Sailor and her sisters, but the other rats, and I've been observing. Humdrum is a bit of a problem. Ducky goes after them. I think she's got too much energy.
Oh yeah, that's exactly.
She's in need of a spaying, which I think will help. Like, it's not bad fights. It's like, it's forced grooming, which is a thing, like power plays.
Yeah.
No one's gotten hurt. No one's bled. It's just lots of squeaking.
Yeah.
Ducky and Dorothy are really small.
So without Heidi and Ruff Ruff in the cage with my younger girls, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I was trying to get Ducky and Dorothy in with my older girls. Those intros failed. So now I have them in with...
Hold on. Shame the reason that it failed. Put a photo here of why it failed. I don't even know if you can place where...
I can.
Say your name.
Asher. And Daisy. It's both of them.
Mostly Asher.
But yeah, so I have them in intros again with my other group. So basically, at the end of this, I'll hopefully have 3 groups of rats. 1 of 3, 1 of 5, and 1 of 7. So basically, that's what's been going on. That's why I failed to read a lot the last couple of weeks. Why we've seemed kind of low energy.
Have we seemed distressed? I'm curious. Like, comment, and subscribe if we've seemed like extra... bummed out the last 3. Also, it was like really emotionally draining, and I wasn't even my rats.
Also, I'm aware that 15 rats is a lot of rats, but if you are capable financially, physically, and emotionally of taking care of a lot of pets, it's also fine to have a lot of pets. If you're not, don't. I am capable of taking care of 3 cages of rats. And this lady was just like, how many rats do you have?
Even though your situation had been explained, not to get too grim, but I think it's 5 of the rats are very old, or like Welsie has an inoperable tumor, and so she is probably not going to be around for a very long time. And you don't want rats to be alone. You have to, sometimes you end up with a lot if you have very old girls. are very old rats, and you want babies to go in there so the other ones aren't alone. Like 15 sounds like a lot, but how many are old?
5 of them are old. Like next month I'll have 5 that are 2, provided I don't lose anyone before December 3rd, which is Asher and Daisy's birthday. And then Wellesley has an inoperable tumor. So I have like 6 that are kind of, I don't want to say on death's door because they're not, except for maybe Pilot. But I have 6 that probably aren't going to be around in 6 months.
And it's no one's business. The animals are being, not to be aggressive with whoever's watching, but like...
It was so judgmental.
Yeah.
She was just like, you know, I have 4 cages of rats right now because of all the fosters I'm taking in, and that's not normal. And I was just like...
It's not too out of the ordinary for people who have rats.
Or social animals in general.
Like, I wonder along the line how many people, like, would watch us partially for the rat content. But I think a lot of people who have rats have a good amount because...
Yeah.
They're not, I wouldn't say easy to take care of, but they're not dogs. It's not like having 10 dogs.
Yeah,
like,
my ideal is 2 cages, 6 to 7 rats in each cage.
Yeah.
That's not hard for me to handle. Their cages are clean. They get vet care. I make their food myself. Through a lot of research, they have 4 sources of water. They have tons of hammocks and like foraging toys. They're happy. It's okay if I have a lot if they're healthy.
I offered to beat the lady up, and Sarah said no.
So yeah, that's what we've been dealing with.
Yeah.
I didn't mention it last vlog because I was distressed.
It was a lot to deal with. It was like a really long drive to get these babies, which was already stressful.
Yeah, they're 14 weeks old and already displaying aggressive behavior, and I hadn't been warned of that.
Yeah, it's weird to see brothers being aggressive towards each other.
Yeah,
so
they were
young.
scent marking so hard. Like the little pawing thing they do, that's scent marking too.
My little sister has 3 rats that are or she had 3 rats. She has 2 now that are brothers. And they didn't really start getting nuts fighting each other until they were a little older. Because you get siblings and they typically get along because they grew up together. So it was a little weird.
Alright, so basically... that if I also don't get a lot of reading done this week, that is partially why, because I'm in intros again.
Yeah,
but anyway.
We're on the tail end of some very stressful stuff, and hopefully it's going to get better soon, so we will be more spirited.
2 weeks from tomorrow, Humdrum, Ducky, and Dorothy are all getting spayed. And then I might get Mercy spayed in December or January, depending on how this goes. Even if I get them all in a group together, just because, like, Mercy has a little bit of anger. But
it's also just good to get them spayed.
Yeah, it helps a lot with their health, which like from now on, that's why I'm getting Ducky and Dorothy spayed, is because if I get them spayed young, like under 6 months, it drastically reduces the chance of tumors, both mammary and brain. Rats get brain tumors, in case you didn't know.
I don't know if getting them spayed at a certain age does make it less likely for them to get more. Do you know for sure?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Everything I've read says, like, some say under 4 months, but most say under 6 months. So, they're 3 months old right now. They'll be, like, almost 4 months old when I get them spayed. Except for Humdrum, who is, she'll be a year and 5 months old when she's taken care of. But yeah, that's the story. Also, Asher is getting a tumor removed Tuesday. So, that is what's happening this week.
We have a lot of stuff going on all the time.
But... aside from all that, I am hoping to continue on with the Mystic Bayou series this week and hopefully get to a Fistful of Charms.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through the books that I haven't read them, and decide if I want to keep them, because you can't see my shelves, but they're incredibly full, and I don't know what I would do if I outgrew the space I had here. I think I would just be in trouble. So I'm trying to make room, and I'm starting with the Gwenevere Deception. I'm starting with this book that I stole from Sarah.
I have a prediction.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
What's your prediction?
Halfway through.
Half?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Christina Lauren blurb on the back.
Yeah.
It's me at my chair again. Hello. I just wanted to start off my portion of this week's vlog with my project. I'm trying to downsize my bookshelves a little bit because I'm running out of room. I'm just getting rid of stuff kind of in general, but I have a lot of books, and there's only so much space. So I'm going to start reading books that I haven't read before. that I'm not sure about keeping. And we are starting off with The Gwenevere Deception by Kirsten White. So I stole this from Sarah when she was trying to unhaul it because I love King Arthur. And I thought I'd try this. This would be my third Kirsten White book that I've read. I read Slayer, and I read The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein, and I didn't like either of them. So this is my third attempt with this author. Not sure how it's going to go. I'm hoping it goes well because the second and third book, I believe, are both out, and I have this pretty perfect condition hardcover that I just completely swiped from my friend. And I sure would like to enjoy this and then get the other two and then have a cool Arthur retelling that apparently focuses on Gwenevere, because it's not a thing that happens a lot, but you know, we're trying to stay optimistic. So I will keep you posted on my feelings for it, and I'm allowing myself to DNF books that I'm not enjoying. I'm not going to make myself sit through a 15-hour audiobook of something I hate unless it's Truth of the Divine. So I might not read too much of this before I decide one way or the other, but I will let you know. So get ready. Do you want to play a game where you guess how much of the Gwenevere Deception I got through before I put it down and decided I don't want to pick it up again? Here, I'll give you a few seconds. The answer is 15 minutes into the audiobook. Yeah. Here's the thing. I try really hard not to DNF books, just because I have like a thing with trying to get my Goodreads goal, which I have already gotten this year. So I'm not trying to impress anyone anymore. Even then, I still try to finish the books that I start just because I want to. Sometimes, you know, you just can't. So I started this, and I had every intention of listening to at least an hour, because typically I feel like you want to get maybe like a fifth into a book before you decide if you're going to like it or not, because by then typically you've met at least most of the characters and you kind of know the tone and the writing and stuff. And I didn't make it that far. I think I must have gotten not even a chapter in. Oh, I never even said what the plot of this book is. Yeah, so it's a King Arthur retelling with Gwenevere as the main character, and she is betrothed to King Arthur. I think they're trying to unite the kingdoms. Merlin is also in it, but I did not get to that part. Deadly jousts, duplicitous knights, and forbidden romances are nothing compared to the greatest fight of all. The girl with the long, knotted black hair, riding on horseback through the dark woods toward Arthur, because when your whole existence is a lie, how can you even trust yourself? Knotted black hair, what does that mean? Do you have the hiccups? Do you have the hiccups? Can I do this? I have a lot of rats disrespecting me right now. Right, so yeah, I don't really know what the plot is, and I wanted to give this more time. But the writing... Okay, I'm going to say something maybe controversial, or maybe you'll agree with me, and that would be great. So... when reading historical books or fantasy books, my least favorite part, always, is when they try and make the people sound old-timey. With fantasy books, I find it more annoying because, like, a fantasy world, anything you want it to be. You don't have to be constrained to, like, medieval jargon necessarily. But historical books I'm a little more lenient on, but I hate it either way. I don't like the fancy talk. I don't like any of that. Honestly, like, if a historical book or a fantasy were to have the characters talk like modern people, not obviously with our slang necessarily, but, you know, just talk like this. I would prefer that, because it's not that I can't understand it, it's that I just think it's stupid. I don't like it. Ma'am? Do you have a problem? Anyway, yeah, I would get taken out of it, I think, if it was using modern slang. I've seen that before, where someone's trying to be cute and funny. So they have people in a high fantasy world saying stuff like, oh, that slaps or whatever. You know what I mean? Just like a lot of appropriating cultural slang. I'll say that, and I won't say names or anything because I'm classy. But yeah, so I mean, I would rather a fantasy or something like that have people talk like they talk now. Historical, I get why you can't necessarily get away with that because it's historical. So if it's like 1800, you're not gonna please people by removing that part, because I think a lot of people do like the old-timey talk. I don't. So this immediately, if you couldn't guess, had like the old-timey talk, trying to be fancy. I don't like it. I was gonna read a line, but I just don't want to. I don't want to call out the author for doing something that is technically correct. But this is my third Kirsten White. And I think maybe I should call it right now that she's not the author for me. She's the author for other people. I'm putting this on my unhaul pile, just so you know. Going right next to The Wicked Deep. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people love her. I mean, they must, because she's got a pretty successful career and she seems like super cool in real life. But she's not the author for me, so I'm not gonna probably try any more of her books, which is a little disappointing, I guess, because she's still coming out with stuff and pretty fast. But, you know, it is what it is. I have other things to read. I have a lot of comic books that I actually have to pick up, so we'll see. I do want to continue my journey, if you will, of trying to clean out my TBR, because I don't like it when I buy a lot of books and then I don't get around to reading them, which is why I took kind of a break from reading comics when I was a teenager, because I was buying comics but I wasn't really reading them, or I was buying one in a series, reading that, and then never picking up the rest, and I just don't want to do that. So I'm gonna make a conscious effort. I think, you know what might be fun, and you're watching me come up with this idea live, or you're not and Sarah cut it, so I don't actually know. But maybe I'll make a whole list of every single thing on my shelves that I haven't read, go over it, and make a mission to read it all. I don't know, because there's a lot of stuff I haven't read at my library, but there's a whole lot I haven't read in my home. I feel like that should be the priority. But so Gwenevere Deception was a fail. Anyway, I am currently halfway through Silverborn by Patricia Briggs, which I'm enjoying fine. I'm enjoying it on the same level I enjoy all the other books in that series, which is, it's fine. I'm also still trying to get through Truth of the Divine and Dune. So I'm hoping by the end of this vlog, I will have finished Silverborn and maybe Truth of the Divine. I'm not saying Dune because it's very long, but the thing is, from right now, which it is Saturday evening, the 5th or 6th, I think the 6th of November, I have to have this book read completely by Wednesday. That's Sarah getting up in the bathroom, hearing me talking to myself like a crazy person. Anyway, so I have to have Dune completely read in 1, 2, 3 days. I'm not confident in myself, so wish me luck. And I'm sorry for reading 15 minutes of a book and then giving up, but you should expect it by now. So
some of the items were, it sounded like they were moving around. You could hear like things like,
oh, she's gonna go in for the groom.
in a room that nobody was in.
Oh,
In real life.
if you need to groom me, you may groom me.
yeah. For people who don't know much about rats, boggling is when their eyes kind of pulse in their head, and it's just a sign that they're very relaxed and happy, or it's a sign of stress. But this is relaxed and happy. Oh, she turned away.
She's done with me.
Goodbye, my loves.
We just finished Dexter, New Blood, episode 1.
Yep.
So, what'd you think?
Okay, we're gonna say spoilers. We will spoil it because we can't talk about it without spoiling everything Dexter, so be aware. So I immediately was like, oh, SpaghettiOs. I don't want it to be different than... Do you want to hold that? I was like, okay, I don't want it to be different than the other Dexter, because, like, I liked the other Dexter despite the issues, and they didn't have the voiceover.
Well, you liked half of the other Dexter.
I did like half of it. They didn't have any voiceover in this, and, like, it just didn't feel like Dexter.
I'm going
to
preface this by saying we predicted everything.
That's true. But, yeah, so, like, I was like, this doesn't feel like Dexter, because, like, it was set up that he wasn't killing people, and there was no voiceover, and I was like, oh, it feels so weird. But then the VO came in, and it was beautiful. I will say that. The payoff was good.
Yeah.
Here, film your face now.
I enjoyed the last 15 minutes.
Yes.
The first, I'd say...
35, 40.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of...
Boring.
It was a lot of setup.
It was very boring, a lot of setup. And it just didn't feel like Dexter. But also, it did that stupid annoying thing that TV and movie shows... wow.
Movie shows.
TV shows and movies do sometimes, where they do all the proper setup to tell you something's happening without literally telling you. And it was done pretty well, because, like, I knew everything that was going on, and then they just have the ghost of Deb come in and tell you.
I think that the purpose of Deb is to say the stuff they think we're not smart enough to catch, but also, I'll say my theory for Deb on here, because I just said it to Sarah, is, like, I'm worried that they have Deb there saying how much of a monster Dexter is and how evil he is, because the people watching, there's people who'd be like, you're making him seem like a good person even though he's a monster. It's like, so they're pointing out the bad things he's doing so that the audience is aware that the writers know he's bad. But, like, it's a show about a serial killer. Of course he's not a good person. That's not really the point.
Yeah,
I just don't want Deb to be calling him a monster for 10 episodes. Like, I don't
really get the point of the ghost Deb right now. She's not even acting like Deb.
I thought she was going to take the place of Harry and literally just be who he talks at, who gives him ideas and all that stuff. But no, she's literally just calling him a monster. It's like, dude,
she's his conscience, and he doesn't have a conscience. That's kind of the point.
I already know Dexter's not a good dude. I don't want to have lunch with him. I already know. So, like, she seems pointless, and she's just irritating me. She's very hateful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why did you do that? Why didn't you just have her be what Harry was?
Yeah.
Even though you don't have Harry, they don't explain why Harry's not there.
Yeah, well, we did, like predict all the story beats at least 10 minutes before they all happened. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad story beats. Like, being predictable doesn't make it bad. It just means that it set it up and executed it well.
Yeah, I don't like that thing of like, trying to outsmart the audience. But when the VO came in, I could have screamed. I was so excited. So, like, yeah, that wasn't... Just because I guessed doesn't make it any less good that they did it the way they did it.
Yeah.
It was good. I think it was well executed. I liked it. I'm excited for new ones. I don't want Dexter to die. I don't want him to get his comeuppance. I don't want him in prison. I want him happy because I like him. I know he's a serial killer. I don't care. I don't care. You can not like him because he's a serial killer. I do like him, despite him being a serial killer. And it is what it is.
So those are our Dexter thoughts. I don't know why I felt the need to share them, but I did.
I have a lot of thoughts on Dexter. Because I love him.
It's Wednesday. Don't you like how good I am at this? I'm so good. I'm amazing. Anyway, Ashley's over there. She did well during her surgery. Went really quick, too. Normally I'm waiting hours, and they called me before I'd even gotten home. And she's like, yeah, she's done. You can come pick her up in a couple of hours. And I was just like, oh. Naturally, my first thought was, when they called me, like, super early, my first thought was, oh no, something's gone horribly awry. But no, she's good. So I'm starting A Fistful of Charms today. This is the first book I've started this week. Well, technically I finished Bag of Bones on Sunday, but that doesn't count. So in A Fistful of Charms, Rachel is helping out her no-good ex-boyfriend, hi Sailor, with an ancient artifact and dealing with werewolves in the process. This one's never been, like, one of my favorites, just because they leave, like, the main setting and go somewhere else, and Trent's not in it, and I don't know, I have some issues with it, but, like, nothing, I was gonna say nothing problematic, but I actually don't feel confident saying that, because Kim Harrison always has something problematic in these books. But anyway, she also, I realized something today. So she makes Jinx human-sized for reasons in this I won't go into, but and Rachel is insanely attracted to him, and it occurred to me that the only men that Rachel isn't attracted to in this are bad guys, which it's not all bad guys, it's just some bad guys, but bad guys, and Glenn, who is the only person of color, and his father Eden, who is too old. And I just find that strange. So, yeah. Alright, so I am on part 7 of 17 in A Fistful of Terms, and it's fine. It's fine. Like, the dynamics between, that was my dog, between Rachel and Jinx are good, but Ivy's not there yet. I'm sure Kirsten pops up eventually. I don't know, I'm not very invested in Kirsten, because things happen. Spoilers happen. Yeah, honestly, it's just not one of my favorites. I find this one pretty boring. It's this one and White Witch Black Curse that I hate White Witch Black Curse. That one just, don't care for it. And then this one's just boring. The others I have clearer, more fonder memories of. This one I just don't really care about, to be perfectly honest. What is with the squeaking? So, I'm not really any further in. In this book, there's werewolves. And, wolves and dogs are different. I just want to throw that out there. Wolves and dogs are not the same. And yet, absolutely all the terminology for werewolves in this series is based on, like, dog behavior and dog things. Just, honestly, it's annoying. Wolves and dogs are not the same, but not only that, but werewolves are still people. They're not, like, dogs. Just don't. What are you doing?
Do you like this fun angle I'm at so that you don't see the blinding brightness of my light? Yeah, that only took 5 minutes for me to figure out. Okay, so we have moved on to part 2 of my efforts to clear my shelf / read some of my TBR. The next book up is Furyborn by Claire Grand, which I also stole from Sarah, and I have the first 2 books in this trilogy. I don't really know much of what it's about other than it's like 2 stories kind of told, I believe, 1,000 years apart. These 2 princesses or queens, I think. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be like modern times versus olden times, but I really don't know. A cosmic war that spans millennia. Their stories intersect, and the shocking connections between them will ultimately determine the fate of the world and of each other. I don't know how it's going to work. I am intrigued. Since I have books 1 and 2 for this, I was going to try and get through more of it than I did with the Gwenevere Deception, because I only read a little bit of it, and I was like, I hate the writing. So the audiobook for this is 15-ish hours. I'm going to try and read at least 2 before I make any decisions. I'm a little worried about this because it is young adult, and I don't really connect with young adult anymore, and I haven't for a while. So I'm kind of, I guess, trying to clear off sort of the last of the young adult I have on my shelves that I have bought and haven't read, so that I can kind of, I don't know if be done with it is the right way to say it or how I want to say it, but I don't know. It's not that I feel like I'm too old for it. I'm just not connecting with it, because I know a lot of people read young adult like well into their 20s or even 30s and older, and like that's cool if you can read this and enjoy it. I'm just having such a hard time, and I don't exactly know what it is about young adult. Maybe it's that there's a certain restraint you have to have with it. Like, people tend to really pull back on a lot of stuff, and I feel like that's kind of talking down to the demographic, and I don't like that. So I don't know, it is what it is. I also don't really like fantasy, so there's that. I don't have high hopes for Furyborn, if I'm being honest with you, but I would like to work on clearing off my shelf and getting rid of stuff, because my other motivation, which Sarah's going to laugh at me when I say this, but she told me we are getting the carpets replaced in a couple months, maybe a few months, and I have 1,000,000 books, and the idea of pulling out almost everything I own of this room that I just moved into and then throwing it all on her bed is terrible. So if I have like 20 less books, I know that's not really a lot, but it'll make me feel better, like mentally. I'm trying to clean out my room a little bit, get rid of some stuff in anticipation of a day where, even though I just did this, I have to gather up all my stuff and get it out of here. So yeah, I'm gonna try and whittle down some of these books I have, some of the other stuff I have. I just want, honestly, what I would like is if most of what I owned was kind of just books, because I'm just going to ramble now. I have this problem of me having like a lot of toys and stuff. Like, hold on here, I'll show you in a second. So yeah, like my room consists of a lot of things. I have this all on top of my bookshelves. It's like a lot of toys, plushies, this Lego set I'm trying to sell, a super messy nightstand, which I won't show you. I have books I have to haul, all these Funkos on the shelves, which, like, it's just a lot of little things. It's just things that, a lot of which I want to get rid of. This is one of my art walls. I have a bunch of stuff taken down. I have to move up. My Raylo picture. And of course, this beautiful wall of art, my Bo Burnham up in the corner. But yeah, see, I just have a lot of stuff, and I'm not a big fan of it. I just want to like downsize a little bit, because for me, I have a lot of anxiety, and getting rid of stuff kind of makes me feel better. I don't know if any of you are like that, but cleaning, getting rid of stuff, organizing, I don't know, it just makes me feel like I have some control over my life, I guess. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm starting with reading books and possibly unhauling them with Furyborn. Hoping I like it, because if I do, then I only have to get one more book in the series, and I have them all, and they're hardcover, and they're in great condition. If not, I'll put it in an unhaul pile, and I'll give it to someone who will love it, and I will downsize some of my many things I own. Oh my god, it looks like so much. Keep in mind that I'm old. I've been collecting for a long time, so it's not like nuts. This is 30 years worth of collecting things. I just want to say that. So anyway, wish me luck on Furyborn. I will pop in to let you know how that's going. So I'm taking a break from Furyborn because it's not working out so well. And I'm back to Truth is the Divine. And I'm still just horribly bored. I know I should just give up on it, but I have 10 hours left. It's just not very good. I don't know. It seems like she didn't take the time to do more with the characters. It's all just plot stuff, and it's boring plot stuff. And I think I hate it. And I just don't like, you purposely set up this thing with the alien to be like the interesting thing you do in this book is there's a romance between an alien and a girl, and then you don't do anything with it. It's just like, it's been 5 hours of almost nothing with the two of them. And it's just, I don't know if it's going to keep being like that. Everyone's like, oh, this book's amazing. It made me cry. It's so beautiful. And it's like, I don't know if it's going to do anything for me. I'm going to keep reading, I guess. I don't know at what point I might DNF it. I just want more with the main character and the alien. And it's like, she's not putting it in there. And I don't know if the author is purposely trying to like tease people, or she doesn't think that's the interesting part, or she's just doing it to like get people to read it because she knows people like that sort of thing. I just don't know, but I'm irritated and I'm bored out of my mind, and I don't really want to keep reading, but I guess I'm going to. So we'll see if it gets better. I don't think it's going to. So there's some updates. I'll get to Furyborn a little later on, but I took a break and I've been doing Truth of the Divine. And now I'm angry. I was bored before, but now I'm mad. So I feel like manipulated, and I don't want to necessarily go saying the author did that on purpose, but it feels pretty purposeful because the marketing for this book, specifically from the author, is very heavy on like Monster Boyfriend, because that was a video she did, and it's like a thing she talks about, and she just very heavily is just like, wink wink, there's going to be a relationship between the alien and the main girl. Okay, right. That's what she personally chose to sell the book on. And not saying it's not going to happen. I think it will. But in this second book, she's decided to introduce a second love interest. So now there's a love triangle, which I hate. And immediately the main character is super attracted to this new guy, even though she's got like an emotional connection with the ampersand alien. And it's been made really clear that she just can't really connect with anybody but ampersand. And then this random guy comes along and immediately she's like, oh, he's hot. I have to have sex with him. And they said they're going to go off and have sex together later on in the night. And I'm so annoyed because it feels like the author's doing that thing where it's like, okay, so the selling point of this book is going to be the alien and the main character getting together. And I don't want it to happen too soon because then people might not read the rest. So it feels like she's trying to prolong it so people keep reading the series. And I think that's annoying and manipulative. And I feel like my time is being wasted because she's introducing this love interest, which I know isn't going to mean anything. She's going to probably have sex with him, which bothers me because I've said it, I think, before. I really hate it when the main love interest is made super clear, but then the main character goes and has sex with someone else. Like, that's why I didn't read. Spoiler alert for, as soon as I say the name, it's going to be a spoiler. So I feel bad. But, I guess I won't say the name. A very popular young adult fantasy that Sarah read and hated. I found out that the main character has a super strong connection with, like, the main love interest. And she sleeps with the bad guy, I think, in the second book, and that's another thing I absolutely despise. It's so gross, especially when it's young adult. I think that was a disgusting choice on the author's part, but, whatever. Everyone worships that book. Maybe it's good. I don't think so. But yeah, so it feels manipulative that the author's just like, oh, there's going to be a relationship with the alien and the main character, and she's wasting time trying to prolong this so that she can get people to read the third book. I just feel like my time's being wasted watching the main character hook up with this random dude who I don't care about. And also, I kind of find it pretty distasteful, and like, I am speaking as a white person, so maybe I'm wrong, but so the main character, Cora, her point of view is third person, but then they have a new character in the book called, I think, Cave, and she did his perspective first person, and he's a person of color who immigrated. Did I say that right? Immigrated? Yeah, okay. And she's doing a first-person perspective on a man of color who immigrated, and the way she described it was very Sound of Music, him escaping his country, and it's like, that's the way you're going to put it, and I'm put off with her doing a first-person perspective on someone, like, leaving their country and coming to a new one, especially when it was like under bad circumstances. I just think that's a weird choice that they let her do that and they didn't have a problem with it. But I don't know, I guess other people feel differently about it. I just don't think a white person who doesn't understand what that's like should be doing a first person perspective about it. But maybe I'm nitpicking at this point because I don't like the book. I'm really irritated that she kept selling it on wink wink, the alien and the human are going to have sex, and it's like, now I gotta deal with this third party that is, he might be in the rest of the books, but it's gonna probably gonna be that stupid awkward thing where like they slept together and it's a little awkward between them, but they still have to work together even though she's with someone else. I hate that. It's just annoying. And then like it feels like to justify, like to make us understand more why she's sleeping with this dude when she has a thing going on with ampersand, is that ampersand is like going nuts for some reason. Like he's acting weirdly out of character, like severely out of character, to make him seem like such a jerk that it's fine that Cora goes and sleeps with this guy she doesn't know versus the alien she's connected with. I don't know. It's all just very messy and I don't like it. I'm so bored and I have 7 hours left, I think. And I just don't want to finish it. I was really hoping I'd like it because I really wanted to buy it. Because I kind of like this author, but it's just like everyone's praising this book. And I feel crazy because I don't understand why. And that happens a lot when people absolutely adore a book that I hate. I always feel like there's something wrong with me because I don't like it. And everyone's like, oh my God, this book was so emotional. It's so beautiful. It's so much better than the first one. It's the most amazing thing that's ever existed. And it's just like, I'm bored. I don't think anything is good in it. There's nothing special. She's barely interacted with the ampersand in it, and he's the most interesting thing in this whole book. I don't know. It feels messy. It feels like it needed, I don't know, just some tightening up, maybe cut 20,000 words, honestly, of this stuff that doesn't matter. Like, I don't need them sitting at a diner talking about nothing. And the main character keeps having, like, screaming panic attacks. And the person reading it is screaming. So I'm listening. And it's just like, this is maybe the 7th time or something in both these books where the main character is just shrieking. And it's like, okay, I don't want to sound like a jerk because she's got PTSD and stuff. But can you not have it happen so often? Or can you maybe tell the reader to not scream for the audiobook? I don't know. I'm going to try and finish this book. I don't feel good about it. And I have thoughts on Furyborn, but I'm going to pop in with that later when I take my rats out because this clip is 7 minutes long. So, see you in a minute. Just wanted to pop in and say it keeps doing one of my least favorite things in this book where the main character is either distressed or worse. And in this particular situation, she's distressed and like missing fingernails and all messed up because she, like, I guess had an anxiety attack or a panic attack that made her really hurt herself. So she's like covered in blood, missing fingernails, freaked out. And the main character just keeps thinking, or the love interest of the main character just keeps thinking about having sex with her while she's like all messed up. And he also did that when she had her last panic attack. So I'm just getting kind of sick of it. He just literally keeps thinking about having sex with her while she's freaking out. And it sucks because like she does the same thing where she's freaking out and she's just like, oh, but I really want to have sex with him. And it's like, you're literally screaming, having a panic attack. Maybe that should have been cut out. Filled with rage. 2 seconds later, she's still all messed up from like the kind of suicide attempt / just her freaking out and hurting herself. And he's in his head going like, oh, we might as well have sex. We're 2 adults. We're 2 consenting adults. And then he like starts going for it, even though she's super distressed from what happened. And she's not stopping him because she's distressed. And he's like, well, I mean, she's offered this to me so many times. And then he goes on to say he deserves it, so he might as well do it. And it's just like, is this your like romantic lead? Is he supposed to be a good person? Because he sounds like a pig to me, saying he wants it and deserves it and that she's offered it up, so like he might as well go for it. And I paused it to record this, but I'm assuming she's about to stop him because she's freaked out and they shouldn't be doing this right now, even if they're both like adults, have some common decency and some compassion. But I hate this book. I didn't want to give it 1 star, but I feel like I might because I hate it so much. It's the prose themselves aren't the problem, but the things that she's having these characters do, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it all. I don't know if I'm going to be able to even try the 3rd book when it comes out in a couple years. I just don't get it. These books keep selling and people keep saying they're awesome. It's just like, what am I missing? What's wrong with me? No, what's wrong with you? For having this man say he deserves to have sex, so he's going to just go ahead and do it, even though she just had a horrible attack of some kind. Oh God. I have like 4 hours left. It's been another few minutes. And I'm officially like really disgusted because they just had sex. Because of course they were going to have sex. And like the whole time leading up to it, his inner monologue kept being like, she's having trauma responses. Like she's traumatized. She doesn't want to do this, but I want to do this. And she kind of wants it. So like literally he kept saying how he thought she didn't want to do it. And he had to keep asking her. And she's like, yeah, it's fine. But then she was like buckling and stuff. And she like her body language was saying no, but she said yes. So they had sex. And I don't think this is going to get, I don't think it's going to get looked at like that was wrong of him or anything. I think that's just the sex scene that the author decided to do, where her body language was absolutely not into it, and he in his head kept saying, oh, she wants this, she says she wants it, even though I can tell she doesn't, and he just did it. It's like, did no one along the way editing this think that was like totally disgusting, or am I nuts? I'm dying to know what other people thought. But I guess I do know what other people thought, because I haven't heard a single bad word about this book. So I guess other people are cool with him having sex with a trauma victim immediately after she had one of her traumatic experiences, because he, quote, deserved it. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to give this book 1 star because I hate that. What kind of message does that send? He deserves it and he wants it, so he should get it? Like, what the hell decade are we in? They had sex again, and he has the inner monologue of she's much more pliant this time. Okay. Also, I'm dumb. I said that his POV was first person, and it's not. It's third person. I still find it weird that she's having him describe his like his journey out of his home country to America. Like, I'm just surprised that she's having these details about his feelings. Like, I guess first person would have been worse, but third person still isn't great. I just don't find it very kosher that she's over here just being like, this is how it feels to immigrate. It's like, all right, yeah, I'm sure you have absolutely no idea at all what that kind of thing feels like. So thank you for immortalizing it in a book for people to read and give you money to experience. Great. Super great. I can't wait to read the rest of this. I'm so excited to see who else I have to read about her dating before she gets to the alien that the author purposely told everyone she would be with so that she could sell copies of her mediocre derivative books. So I lied. I said that I was going to do my final discussion for Fury Born when I took my rats out, but I changed my mind. I wanted to just focus on them. So instead, I'm going to do it here. So, I didn't make as much progress as I wanted to. I didn't give it as much of a shot as I was initially hoping. I wanted to try and get 2 hours in. And the book's 15 hours, so I guess that would have been still not very much, but more than I did with Gwenevere Deception. But I got really annoyed, and I thought, maybe I don't need to keep going. What annoyed me was something kind of trivial, so I won't even bother with it. I think other people get past it pretty easy. But basically, it was kind of like the YA of it all, which is what I was worried about. I just don't have the patience for young adult, at least right now. So it's going to be a no for Fury Born, and I guess also a no for Kingsbane, which is the sequel. That's perfect condition, doesn't even have the sticker for Bookman's in it. Yes. Bought brand new for $19. Same with this one. Never even cracked them open, but it is what it is. It happens. At least we got these used, kind of used, from a bookstore, not from Amazon, basically, which I do care about. So there's that. And some oh, I just smashed this. Did you see that? Was that on camera? Cool. I just smashed it against that. But anyway, some lucky ducky is gonna get these from Bookman's eventually, and I hope they go to a home that loves them in a way I couldn't. So I'll say, of the 2 books I've read on my TBR, I've not liked either of them, which doesn't bode well for the rest. I don't know which will be my next one. I am looking down at some of the ones I haven't read. I have Mexican Gothic, Arsenic and Adobo, Where Dreams Descend, which I'm sure I'm not going to like. I don't even know why I bought that. I have Night Circus, Starless Sea. I have... what else? Yeah, a couple on the bottom. I have There Will Come a Darkness and its sequel, and The Firekeeper's Daughter and Stranger's Dreamer. Those are most of the TBR books that I haven't read that I own that I want to read and decide on. And I also have say hi, Ducky. I also have Serpent and Dove, which I haven't started. I have the first 2 books of that, and I want to see how that goes. I am increasingly worried about all of my young adult and if I'll like them at all. Oh my god, can you see her? Look at this. Look at this face. Oh, I can't follow her. I can't. She's going too fast and I can't see the camera. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I can't take you out. Anyway, yeah, so I have plenty more books on my to read TBR, and I'm hoping something ends better than these ones have. Some of them are adult, so I think those will be better. Oh, I also technically have the entire Throne of Glass series, which I haven't even started, but I have all the books for. I hope that goes okay, because otherwise it's a waste of $100 or $100 in credit at the bookstore. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about Fury Born. My next check-in will probably be about Truth of the Divine, which I guess, you know, that means it'll be a nice positive check-in with only good things to say and no suffering at all. Yeah, and there's gonna be spoilers because I have a point I want to make. Obviously heavy spoilers, but this will be a heavy spoiler for the ending of the book, so keep that in mind. All right, see you soon. You guys just didn't want to let me do that clip, did you? No, you didn't. Look at that. Hold my hand. You know, I already gave you treats, but I guess. What's 2 more? Oh my god. Hold my hand. What are you doing? What are you doing? I didn't record in time, unfortunately, but Wicket had her head in the box, the hole in the top of the box of tissues, and she was dragging it all around her litter. And I did take the plastic and like the glue out of this on the top first, so you don't have to worry about them chewing on or anything. Hi. Hey, you. You guys want to eat some of this so I can give you new delicious food? So I can give you cereal? Okay. Okay, you. Go back to playing with the tissue box and being a dork. Okay, fine. You know, if you're not going to be running around anymore, then I'll do my update instead. How's that? Should I do my update? She says no. Instead, give me treats. Actually, I will do that. I'll give you treats. See, I was telling the truth. Treat. And, oh, treat. They're happy babies. Hello, can you hear the clicking in the background? That's my rats drinking water because they just ate treats. And you might hear more noise from these rats right here that are hanging out with me for the time being. But I wanted to do a little update. I finished Truth of the Divine. Somehow. I don't have too much more to say about it other than I hated it. Like, I didn't hate the first one. I actually kind of liked the first one. I liked where it was going. I felt like all of the first one was pretty unremarkable. Like, a lot of people say it's derivative. That's true. But I liked where it was going and the setup. And I thought, okay, cool. She's setting it up so she can just have a bunch of fun in the second book. And when I say fun, I don't necessarily mean... I don't necessarily mean happy or not sad. I just mean fun as in, like, it's an enjoyable read. I don't mind when books get sad. That doesn't bother me. I will be spoiling the ending of this. So if you don't want that, click away to whatever the next clip is, because I'll wrap it up briefly. But, right. I guess the ending, which is that Cappie dies. So basically, the way I feel, again, I've expressed this before, and I wonder if in the other clip I said that he dies, and I just forgot, because I forget everything. Oh, you know I don't.
So, yeah, okay. So the way I feel about this is that I think there's supposed to be 5 books in the series, and it's like, well, okay, the alien and the girl are going to get together, but I don't want that to happen too soon, so she needed to push it off as far as possible. So she has this waste of time love interest in the second book, and he dies, so the whole third book could be grieving. So she's like bought enough time to where this won't be an issue again until the 4th book, despite the fact that Kaveh literally asked Cora if she was in love with the alien, and she's like, yeah. I don't need them to be together immediately. I would have been fine waiting however many books, but I'm just irritated at the amount of things in this book that just felt like a waste of time. Like, it doesn't feel like too much happened even plot-wise. Like, the world knows about the aliens and it's seen the aliens, and like a few big things happened, but not enough that like it justifies the length of the book, in my opinion. I wish the book was 30,000 words less. I think if it's 15 hours, I'm going to assume, oh, what would that be? Because I know that length book is around maybe 130,000 words. That's probably a bit much. But, oh, do you like the little white of my bookshelf? I didn't notice that before, but if I move my phone anywhere else, you'll be blind by light. But anyway, the book was really long and just felt like not a lot of stuff really mattered in it. I just wish it was shorter, because I think if I'd gotten through this faster, it wouldn't have felt like a waste of time. And it's hard sometimes when you have a series to understand the difference between like a waste of time and like developing the character. So I guess it could be said that this stuff happening is developing Cora's character, but I don't like when a character dies to advance the plot of another one. I really hate it when they do it with women. I don't love it when they do it with men, or, you know, anyone in between or outside of that. I don't know how to say it. I'm very old. But the point is, I don't know, I think it's cheap to have a character die, and like that's what changes someone. So if this is like book 2 and 5, then I guess that's what it is. It's like to develop her character further. But I don't like Cora. She has anxiety and she has frequent panic attacks, and like, so do I. I'm not down on anyone who has that problem, obviously. What I don't like is that she had like 8 panic attacks in the book, and they're all the same, and the reader just screams. She screams into the microphone, so every hour I'm listening to a woman scream in my ear, and it's just, ugh, I get it. Okay, I get it. Cora is very damaged, and that's fine. Like, that could be interesting, but nothing's being done with it. She's just damaged, and she keeps calling herself crazy, and like nothing's happening. Like, it just feels like you could have taken the big points of book 2, put them into book 3, and just cut out all the garbage of book 2 and just had a book less in the series. I don't know what the plans are, whatever. So yeah, wouldn't recommend. I don't know if I'm going to read the 3rd one. I probably will, because I know myself and I'm curious, and I just want to see more stuff with Ampersand the alien, because I like him, but he was purposely acting out of character in this book, and I just don't, I don't like it. He was barely in it. It bummed me out. So those are my thoughts on Truth of the Divine. Maybe you feel different. I hope you do. I hope that everyone who reads it likes it. I hope that for every book, pretty much. I just didn't like it. So it is what it is. What's great about this angle is that you can tell exactly how messy my bed is, and that I have clean towels thrown on there and a blanket and my computer somewhere, because my computer lives on my chair when I'm not sitting in it, and you don't care, so I'll just move on. Okay, so I just finished Silverborn by Patricia Briggs. I grabbed the right one, right? Yeah, that's what I'm on. It's hard to tell when you're reading these all like one after another. It's hard to tell which one's which, because oh, I just banged myself in the face with my glasses, because I'm listening to audiobooks. I'm not physically reading. But yeah, so I just finished this. I gave it 3 stars, as I have given kind of every other Mercy book. I'm sorry, Sarah, please don't be mad at me. I keep wishing that I would like these books more than okay, but I haven't yet. Sarah did say she didn't really hit her stride necessarily until I think Fire Touched? I don't remember. So I'm still holding out hope that I'm going to start liking these more, mostly because I so frantically ran out and bought all these hardcovers because I was under the impression they were going to be hard to get, because a lot of them are. So I bought all of these, and I want to love them because I own them, and I know myself, and I know that if I don't love them, one day I'm going to be like, should I get rid of these? I don't want to do that. Anyway, I really can't say a lot about this. I wish Sarah was here to give the synopsis because she's way better at it, because she knows these books backward and forward. Can I set this down? Am I allowed to set this down? I'm going to put this right here. The best part of the plot is the stuff happening with Samuel. So kind of spoilery. I don't know how much someone would consider this a spoiler. It does happen a bit into the book. Samuel's going through some stuff. He's unwell, and Mercy's kind of dealing with that, and she's having problems with the pack because they don't want her there because she isn't a werewolf, and they're mean. All werewolves are mean. That's kind of the takeaway I'm getting from these books. Sorry, I'm just fixing this on my shelf. That's the takeaway I'm getting from these books, is that werewolves suck a lot and they're mean, and I don't like them because they're just mean and kind of evil. Yeah, they're unpleasant, and they hate Mercy because she's not a werewolf, even though she's mated to their alpha, so you'd assume they'd kind of just get over it, but they're not getting over it. They're being annoying about it and causing trouble. Did I just hear a monster outside? Wouldn't that be awful if a monster came and like murdered me while I was recording this clip? I hope they wait at least until I'm done. Anyway, yeah, so I liked this book okay. I don't hate it, and that's good. I'm enjoying them. His little audio adventures. I wish it was Charles and Anna, because I love them. But yeah, the series is going okay. I'm liking the characters a little more. I wish I felt more for them, but at this point I kind of don't. I don't know if it's because, like, not to blame, it's not your fault, Sarah, but I wonder if part of it is because I've just heard her for a decade, like, in love with these books, and so my expectations were really high, and when my expectations get high, that's bad news. So maybe I did it to myself, but I'm not going to completely lose hope on liking the series until I've gotten through Fire Touched, and if I still am just meh on Fire Touched, then I think I'll know for sure that it's just that I enjoy the Alpha and Omega series more and this less, which is okay, by the way. I'm telling myself that that's fine. So I guess I would recommend the Mercies so far. They're pretty fun, just werewolf shenanigans. It's a good time, so. Hey, I didn't want to move positions from where I'm sitting because I'm very tall and getting up hurts. But I started reading The Stand-In by Lucy Chu, or not reading, listening to the audio, because right now it's an Audible exclusive, not even in physical copy, and the narrator is Pippa Sue, known also as Eliza from Hamilton, an absolute queen. She's wonderful as an audiobook reader, by the way, no surprise because she is an actress, so, you know. But the basic plot is a woman is approached by a very famous actress in the city, and they look very much alike. And the actress has she's taken a job for 2 months working in a theater, and she's been told by the production team that they want to see her out and about in the city, like getting attention for the show and being a public figure, kind of, so he can get attention for the show. And the actress wants to focus on her part. She doesn't want to spend time like going out to parties or any of that, so she finds this girl who looks just like her, and she offers her $150,000 to be her stand-in and go to parties for her and pretend to be her for 2 months. And this girl, whose name escapes me because I just started reading this book, is down on her luck. She just lost her job because of her creep boss, and she has a mother who has dementia and needs help. So she is going to take a job as, I don't know what you would even call it. I guess a body double, to live a fun, glitzy, glamoury life for 2 months with the starlet, is it starlet? The starlet's assistant, her grumpy assistant Sam, who is apparently very handsome and not keen on this idea. And it's very cute so far. I absolutely adore the narration, and it's very lighthearted so far. It has a really cute cover. I absolutely adore the cover. And it is coming out in paperback in March or February. So if you are a physical reader, it was also on Kindle too. So if you want to wait till then. But again, it's The Stand-In by Lily Chu. And it's very fun. I'm hoping I continue enjoying it because I've been having a really hard time with books lately. I haven't really loved anything I've read. And it's making me kind of uneasy about reading things, because I don't know if you ever get in a situation where you're not sure if you're just not finding anything good to read, or you're maybe in a mood. And I'm always worried that I'm in a mood and I'm going to pick up a book that I would otherwise like, and because I didn't wait till I was out of my mood, I'm going to read it and not like it, which sounds like I'm overthinking it, only because I am. So, but I am enjoying this. Who knows? I'm pretty sure Sarah's having a similar problem. If you, I think it's in this one. You might have gotten our clip explaining why we've been a little bit blue lately. There's still stuff going on. We're fine. We're getting through it, but it's making it hard to truly enjoy reading. I'm sure you can relate. But anyway, so now that I finished Truth of the Divine and Silverborn, I'm going to work on finishing Dune and finishing The Stand-In. I'm pretty in trouble on Dune. I was supposed to actually finish it yesterday, and I didn't. I still have, I think, 15 hours left because I instead of reading, I watched a 6-hour video on the show Victorious from Nickelodeon, and I've watched that video 3 times, and I'm not ashamed. I'm a little ashamed, actually. I'm a little bit ashamed, so.
I have not updated you in a couple of days.
Taylor Swift's Red came out a few days ago, and it's been hectic.
Well, bad things happened. Fortunately, I lost one of my rats, Button Bright. I'll put a picture up here for those of you who don't know which one that is. Yeah, she unfortunately had to be euthanized due to a pituitary tumor, which is a brain tumor. And that happened yesterday, so. Which is why I haven't updated.
Yeah.
She was almost 2.5, so. The most you can ask for, honestly.
I requested more time from her, and she refused.
Yeah. Well, as I keep saying, they're only contractually obligated to give me 2 years.
That's true, I guess. So we're not doing great.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, and I'm just sad because we're probably going to be making more updates like this because a lot of the rats in our lives are incredibly old.
Yeah, Pilot was Button Bright's sister, and Pilot's been sick for 6 weeks, so. But other than that sad thing that happened, I did finish, what was it called? A Fistful of Charms. Offensive stuff happened in it, but honestly, I just didn't have the energy or the care to update you guys. It's problematic, like all the other books, and I gave it 3 stars because it's one of my least favorites, so.
Which is weird because it's the one most worth money.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I finished Truth of the Divine by Lindsay Ellis, which I was genuinely offended by, and I'm never, like, terribly offended, but her weird stuff with consent like got to me because I put it in the clips and I told you, but yeah, there's points where the main character's new love interest is having inner monologue about how even though she's like in the middle of like trauma, he deserves to have sex with her. He's earned it, so he's gonna do it. And it's just like, what a weird thing to put in your book. And she did gross. It like she did it for like
both of the like sex scenes where he is like being like, oh, she doesn't seem to want this, but she's saying it's okay, so he's gonna do it, and then he does it. Like, she's saying yes, but her body language is very clearly saying no, and like she can't handle it, and he just does it. And just like, what a weird thing for the editor to not care about and Lindsay to not care about. And I haven't seen any reviews talking about it. Am I the only one put off by a man being like, I deserve this and I want it? And then she's got in a monologue being like, well, he's earned it because I'm such a handful. And it's like, obviously that's her being unreliable, but no one ever corrects her on it. And like, she doesn't learn that that's not a thing. You don't owe someone sex because they put up with you. I also finished Silverborn, which was fine.
So yeah, next week I just got the Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren today from the library, and then
I read that one.
and then I will hopefully actually start reading Mystic Bayou this week. I know I said something about it last week, but things happened.
Yeah, sad things. You don't necessarily want to come home and read when you're very depressed.
Yeah. So
I knit a scarf that night because I didn't want to do anything else. Much like inspired by Taylor Swift, a scarf entered my life.
Well, so what are your plans for next week?
Well, I got Bag of Bones, which I have to read
For a different video.
I still have to finish Dune, but I have some romances that I checked out at the library that I might dabble in. I have Undercover Bromance by Lyssa K. Adams. I have 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. Shipped by Angie Hockman, and Blitzed by Alexa Martin. So I'm going to maybe read a romance while I'm trying to finish Dune.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed this vlog, I guess.
We didn't enjoy living in it.
Much like last week, if you pity me, please leave a like.
Yeah.
Maybe subscribe.
Yeah. Give us condolences in the comments section.
Oh, God.
I'm so sad.
Yeah.
Here, put up another picture of Button Bright.
Alright, we'll see you in the next vlog. Goodbye.
Bon voyage.